Hi everyone, thanks for tuning in. In today's video, we're going to be going over some statistics and details of sexual violence on college campuses. Sexual violence on campus is rampant and rising. To give you a brief overview, sexual assault is defined as any crime where offenders subject victims to any unwanted or offensive sexual contact. According to a 2019 study, there has been a 13% increase of non-sexual contact in colleges. Specifically, among graduate and professional students, about 10% of women and 2.5% of men reported experiencing rape or sexual assault through physical force. Among undergraduate students, about 26% of women and 7% of men also reported experiencing rape or sexual assault through physical force. Research has shown that strangers commit only 19% of sexual violence. 39% of sexual violence occurs between acquaintances, while current and former intimate partners represent 33% of sexual violent cases. Sexual violence on campus also occurs in the LGBTQ+ community. About 23% of transgender, genderqueer, and nonconforming college students have been sexually assaulted. According to the Department of Justice, about 80% of sexual violence cases goes unreported. Women often tend to avoid filing reports out of fear or embarrassment. This is also combined with the belief that the police can't really do anything to help. There are several top reasons why women ages 18 to 24 do not report sexual violence. This includes believing it was a personal matter, the fear of reprisal, feeling it was not important enough to report, not wanting to incriminate the offender, believing the police could not do anything to help, and reporting what happened to them to individuals other than the police, such as friends, family, or somebody at school. Research and statistics tend to focus mostly on female victims. However, male victims suffer just as much as females. Similar to female victims, men do not report assault due to the reasons listed before, but also because of shame, humiliation, and self-blame. Sexual violence can happen to anyone, anywhere, regardless of their gender or age. Victims are not responsible for the assault. In fact, offenders often seek power and control over others, which fuels their actions. While victims are never responsible for being attacked, you can take precautionary measures to reduce the risk of being assaulted. Tip number 1. More than 50% of college sexual assaults occur in the months of August, September, October, or November. And this may be because those are the first couple months coming back from summer break. You're hanging out, you're having fun, you're drinking more than maybe you did when you were with your family. So it's just important to remember to watch yourself during these first couple of months and just get used to being back at school. So tip number 2 is for more freshmen. Students are at increased risk during the first few months of their first and second semesters in college. This may be because you're not used to being away from home for such a long time. There's more alcohol, drugs around that you may not have used during high school or when you're at home with your family. So just try to be aware and stay safe when you're first entering college and just know your limits. Tip number 3 involves being aware of your surroundings. So the first thing is to avoid traveling alone. Consider walking to and from class with a buddy, especially at night. If you're going to a restaurant or to a party or to hang out, try carpooling with other students. This can increase safety and also reduce gas. And then using the buddy system at parties and social gatherings is also a really good precaution, just to make sure that you know where your buddy is and they know where you are. So the second thing is staying secure in your dorm or apartment. While dorms and apartments contain less entry points than houses, you need to make sure that you lock your doors at all times, especially at night. One thing you may want to do is purchase an inside door jammer, which can prevent even unlocked doors from being opened. The third thing is to utilize multiple routes and well-lit areas. Campuses usually offer multiple routes to get to and from the same destination. You should often switch routes to keep people from stalking you or from keeping offenders from being able to predict where you're going to go on a certain night. Also, even though the dark shortcut seems like the easiest thing to do, you should just try to stay in the well-lit area. Even if it takes longer, it's just safer. Tip number 4 is knowing your limit. I think this is one of the most important things that a college student can know, how much you can drink or how much you can smoke or take before you're either unconscious or unable to remember what's happening. So the first thing you can do is watch your drink. Offenders often slip date rape drugs into your drink when you're not looking. So usually if you have to go to the bathroom, give it to a friend or keep your hand on it at all times. They also sell these sort of coverings you can put over your drink so nobody can sort of slip a pill or put anything in it. So the second thing is to know your personal limit. So this includes, like I mentioned before, the alcohol limit, drug limit, but also your sexual boundaries. It's good to establish a clear communication with a partner or even a one-night stand, like what you're willing to do and what you're not willing to do. And if something's like happening in the middle of sex and you start to feel really uncomfortable, it's okay to speak out and say no. Just because you agreed to make out, kiss, have penetration, doesn't mean you're okay with something else that might come up, like anal stuff or oral sex that you may not be interested in. Just speaking up and telling them that you're not comfortable with that is one of the best and most clear ways to go in that situation. Tip number 5, communicate with your friends. So one of the most important things you can do is provide information to friends, family members, boyfriend, girlfriend. If you're going out for a night, inform them where you're going, who you're going to be with, how long you're going to be there. It's important to charge your phone, make sure they have your phone number, maybe the name and place of where you're going. Sharing your location is really great too. That's the one great thing about smartphones. You can share your location with friends and family. And so if you decide to go somewhere for a couple of hours and nobody's heard from you, it's really helpful that people can sort of see if you're still there, just check in to make sure you're okay. A third thing that I think is really important, especially for women, is having a backup plan. So if you're going out for the night, make sure you have a portable charger, have emergency cash, jumper cables, pepper spray. There was one time when I went out into middle Philly and my phone died and I was stuck there in the middle of the night. So just remembering to have those things is really important to make sure that nothing bad happens to you while you're out. If you need help, need someone to talk to, or just confused about something that may have happened to you, please call one of these numbers below. They're available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for any concerns that you may have. Alright guys, thank you for watching. I really appreciate you sitting through this video and just learning some more about sexual violence on college campuses. Please follow me at Therapists Say What. You can click the subscribe button below. And also if you want to visit my website for any mental health apparel or accessories, please do that as well. And as always, if you have any questions or concerns, you can email me. But if this is a real mental health crisis, please reach out to one of the numbers I listed before or a mental health provider in your area. Thanks.